Oh shit. Oh, fuck me. Okay. Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega kick off the show, guys. And it ends in a draw. But it was a classic. It was, well, okay, it was a good fucking match, okay? I was thoroughly enjoyed. No, this does not destroy the image of Bryan Danielson. They could have easily put the title on Bryan Danielson. They could have easily made him win this non-title match. And I don't think people would really care that much. Because it's freaking Bryan Danielson. Now, if you're watching the show, and if you did watch it, if you didn't watch it, I do recommend watching it. Here's the thing. It's funny because it felt like you was watching the show backwards. And I think that's what they did. They just put the show in backwards. Now, that pop that Daniel Bryan got in New York, the Big Apple, the most famed, yeah. Ending in a draw, I think is okay. This is like the few times I'm actually okay with this. Even though, now, if there's one thing I could say about this is that they could have put him I think Bryan Danielson should have put him in the Yes Rock, and but there's out of time, and right before, there's not enough time, but he taps out, Kenny Omega, right? But there's not enough time, so it doesn't count, and it ends in a draw, making it look like, oh, he almost won. But, besides that, that's just a nitpick. I think the show was good. This is, the Grand Slam show was really good. I think people are 50-50 when it comes to the draw. To me, it's okay. I don't think it ruins the show. And granted, maybe people will actually talk about this more because it was the draw. They're like, whoa, this ends in the draw? Okay? So anyway, so let's talk about MJF versus Brian Pillman Jr. This match was probably the weakest match. Pillman Jr. This match was the weakest, but it was okay. I think they're gonna have another match, and I'm okay with that. MJF wins. I guess he needs to get his heat back. I mean, he already did, but he needed to get a win. Even though he beat, it's funny, he needs to get a win back, even though it's funny because he defeated Chris Jericho 3 times, but anyway, so that was an okay match. The only rematch, and yes, I have to bring up WWE, we'll compare it. WWE does rematches as a crutch, instead of making storylines, instead of making intriguing angles, we just have rematches. And you see, we get Malachi Black versus Cody Rhodes. The fans are actually booing him, and I think that's interesting. I think, I do think that heel turn will come either at the end of the year or next year. So, Malachi Black wins. That's good. It wasn't clean, but at this point, that's okay. Yeah, and that was the one rematch that we saw. I think it was just fine for what they did. It feels like Cody Rhodes has a theme song a different one for every type of show every week. But anyway, not a bad show, not a bad match. I don't think I would watch it again, but that doesn't mean that it's not bad. It's just fine. By the way, I forgot to mention this. CM Punk cuts a promo about the matches he's going to have on Rampage, Grand Slam. He talks about how he should be pissed off, and he was, but every time he listens to Court Personality, aka his theme song, he just gets happy, and it turns into a rev fest. Anyway, you want the old CM Punk, you better watch out. That's what he said. So anyway, guys, he cuts a great promo. This promo was entertaining. Probably one of his best. Jeez, I don't even know. AEW wise. Okay, guys. Here we go. FTR versus Sting and Darby Allin. Now, I don't, okay, before we talk about that. Now, I don't know if, a couple weeks ago or last week, I don't know if they were teasing a Rick, some tells me Ric Flair was supposed to come or something, because, they kept on teasing it. Well, they kept on mentioning, dropping hints, but now that's not gonna happen, because that's what happens when you make people touch your dick. You don't get to be on TV, for good reasons, though. Well, allegedly, I guess, but even though, whatever. I can talk about the Ric Flair thing, but really, I think Dark Side of the Ring comes on tomorrow. And here's the thing. And I'm pretty sure what people have said is that it's going to make Ric Flair look even more bad. So, I don't know. But anyway, besides that, we're here to talk about AEW Dynamite Grand Slam. If you want me to talk about the Ric Flair thing and see what I think of it, comment down below saying yeah or something like that. Just let me know if you want to see my thoughts on that or hear my thoughts on that. Anyway, FTR versus Sting versus Darby Allin. Great tag team match, actually. Sting is good in this war. Sting is wrestling like he did in TNA. Or almost, and that's a compliment, by the way. He hasn't wrestled stepped. He looks great. Decent tag team match, whatever. I liked it. We got to see Sting wrestle. I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, here's the thing. Sting usually doesn't have bad matches. So this match is good. Sting doesn't have bad matches, and that's a guy that gets it. Unlike some other wrestlers that do not get it, some other legends that do not understand, Sting gets it. He knows what his limits are, and he knows what to do. It's very simple. Okay, guys, Ruby Soho versus Built Breaker, Dr. Bait Breaker. This was actually a good women's match, actually, not gonna lie. A really good women's match. Ruby Soho loses. Is it Ruby or Rhea? Rio Soho or Ruby Soho? I think it's Ruby Soho, but fucking hell. I'm such a fucking idiot. Listen, I'm a fucking idiot. But anyway. So yeah, great main event match. I could see this kicking off the show also. But Britt Breaker wins. By the way, Sting and Darby Allin win. Their tag team match, by the way. So that was the main event. Actually, I did enjoy the match. I think every match was enjoyable. It had entertainment. I think the show. Oh boy. As a Dynamite, I would not bash people if they give it an 8. Well, I wouldn't bash for their opinion, but if you give this a 5, I would have questionable facts. If you give it a 6, okay. If you give it a 7, okay. To me, the show is like a... I'm feeling strong. A 7.5. A 7.5 out of 10. Listen, that's a great rating. Listen, whatever. I mean, really, it's a great show. That's just how I would rate it. Because, like, to me, here's the thing. I do have standards. That's the thing with me. But this show is great, guys. Anyway, guys, comment down below what you thought about the show. Subscribe and like this video. See you guys next time. Bye.
Really on, getting icy zone, flexing, I've been swerving, make it trendy.